Check 1, 2, 3. Hey, we are live. All right. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Beat the Odds. We are going to do a. Let me just turn off other audio here. We are going to do a fantasy baseball draft today. I don't know which draft it's going to end up being. We're just going to join one of these instant drafts and see what league we end up getting into. We're going to do this while I watch some Raptors basketball. They're pretty terrible. But I'm a diehard, lifelong fan, so we're going to do that there as well. If this is your first time jumping on stream here with us, I appreciate you jumping in. Please do subscribe to the channel, like the stream, of course. And if you're interested, if you're watching this either now or perhaps on replay, and you're interested in joining in on a league here with us, I do have a league set up for Yahoo. Beat the Odds Fantasy Baseball. So if you're interested in joining that league, I'll attach the link to that. Actually, I might be able to pin it to the chat here. Well, maybe I'll do that here in a quick second. Bear with me a second here, guys. Huh? Not quite what I wanted to do there, but there. So now you guys can check out that link there if you want to jump in on a fantasy baseball league here with me. If you think your game, that is. So yeah, let's jump right into it here. We are going to do. Prep myself here. Did I pin it? Now it's pinned. All right. Let's go into an instant draft here. I'm just going to pop in this draft now. Looks like it's going to be a standard snake draft. We're going to go ahead and join that. So this is your first time jumping into a draft. I do have a strategy that I like to use here whenever I do a draft, and they're all a little bit different. This one's going to be a snake draft for head-to-head. So we'll go over some of that here while we do our draft. I want to go in and change my avatar and change the name of my team. I guess I have to fill fills and that. Yeah, we've been covering. Oh, there we go. We're in. And the draft is going to start in 7 minutes. That gives me just enough time to set everything up. Let's go into league. A little easy for my phone. change my name to Odds. Up our beautiful logo here. All right. Now that that's in, I can go in and for the draft. Apparently not from that screen. There we go. All right, we are going to go to, I think it gives us the option of doing, oh no, I guess I can't do the presenter mode for the draft, which is okay. We can just run it through this. Maybe I can. We'll check it out here later. All right, so we're going to be drafting right in the middle, number 6, which this season is not exactly the best spot yet. Ideally, I'd like to get one of the top 5 picks. So I may miss out on one of those, but I mean, there's Freddie Freeman down in spot number 7. That would be somebody that I would be happy to pick up in the first round there as well. Picking in the middle usually is a good thing because you don't have to wait as long to be able to get back to your turn. So that sometimes I don't mind picking in the middle. I just like to get one of those top 5 picks. So if I get somebody drop to number 6 here, I'll be very, very happy. We'll see kind of how this plays out. Let's do a full screen here. And we'll quickly talk some players that I like to queue up here. If you're doing drafts here for the first year, I strongly recommend using a queue. You'll see these stars kind of to the left of the players' names. You're basically just going to be firing up players that you like and having them kind of put aside so that way you don't forget about them. Now, I usually like to use ADP, especially at this time of the preseason. There's been a lot of drafts, so you can kind of see how players are being drafted. This season, Ronald Acuna, for example, is the consensus number 1 pick. Even he's got a bit of a knee injury that he's currently working on, but they say that he should be ready to go here for the start of the season. So he's been the number 1 pick across the board, and rightly so. He had a ridiculous season here last year. So usually what I'll do, the first 100 picks normally fall the way that they fall. So I normally look after pick 100 and start picking up players that I really like. So out of this list here, we're going to go kind of by position. So I'm going to start with starting pitchers here because I typically will get burned. Sometimes if I run out of time, I'll get burned on my top pick here. All right, so Kadai Senga, he was being picked at 113, but he is injured, so I'm going to pass through him. Cole Reagans is somebody that I really like here this year. Michael King, I really like this year. Hunter Green, I like any year here. I think he's going to get better. Like he's projected to have a better ERA. Oh, they're giving me the little. I know that. I don't need that. Little ad there. Hunter Brown, I like. Bailey Ober, I like. Carlos Rodon, I like. Barrios, I kind of like here. I mean, I'm a Blue Jays fan, so sure, we'll put him up. Shota Minaga is a good one here. No, I didn't see is there's Bibby 96. I think we'll start with that for now. I only got 2 minutes left before we start, so I'm going to go and do a couple of relief pitchers. Munoz, Pete Fairbanks, I'm high on. Tanner Scott, I'm high on. I try to get as many shares of Tanner Scott as possible. Um, Actually, Ryan Pepiot, I'm high on as well. I think he's gonna have a good season in Tampa Bay as a starter. He's not a reliever. We'll stick with that for now. Let's go to catchers. Diaz, I'm trying to get as many shares of him as possible. Although he is rising in the ranks, like he was right around pick 150, 160 at the start of the draft series, now at around 120. So people are catching on. Kyber Ruiz, Logan Nahape, you'll see these. I have a top 10 list for pretty much every position, and I've got my sleepers and fades. Those are all on my channel. Check out the playlist. You'll catch whatever you need for your draft prep here. You can catch it through my playlist. I've got it all, and I've got some more content coming down the pipe, so make sure you stay tuned to that. Who else do I like? Well, we'll skip. That's good enough for catchers here. First baseman, Spencer Torkelson. I like Christian Encarnacion Strand. Justin Turner is actually a great pick at the end of the drafts. He plays multiple positions. Reese Hoskins is a good one there too. Second baseman, I like Stott, Geloff, Gorman. Third baseman, Yandy Diaz, a good one to pick up here. Jake Berger, people are overlooking him. That's a Miami effect. I would get as many shares of Jake Berger at the end of the draft if you can. I think he's got potential to hit 40 homers this year. For shortstops, Volpe is a good one. I think he's going to be that 2020 guy. Ezekiel Tovar, I think, is going to be a guy here. Jackson Holiday, I'm getting as many shares of him as possible. He's likely going to end up starting. Let's go to some outfielders here as well. We're 10 seconds from starting. Jordan Walker, I'm big on here. And Riley Green. Jackson Churio, I'm trying to get as many shares of him as possible. Eloy Jimenez might come out with a really good season this year now that he's healthy. Jaron Duran is another one later on in the draft that I've been targeting here too. Okay, so that's going to do it for the guys that I am looking at. Let's see how this pans out here for me. So the first three picks, of course, three of the top picks here. I imagine Julio is going to go next. There he goes. So now it's Mookie Betts, which I'll gladly pick up if he's available to me. I'll gladly pick him up. If I don't get him, then it's likely going to be Freddie Freeman. And Betts is gone. Kind of leaves me thinking if Freeman's really the way that I want to go with this year. Yeah, it kind of is. All right, so Freddie Freeman is going to be joining the team. Oh, somebody's picking up Shohei Ohtani 7th. I like Ohtani. I don't like him that early. Simply because he plays, or he's going to only be able to be slotted in the util slot, and that kind of handcuffs your team a little. And I'm not a huge fan of picking up somebody that I have that immediate handcuff. If he fell to round 2, then I'd consider him, but not 7th pick. J-Ram is a little early for my taste there too. Fernando Tatis is he's a good one. I wouldn't mind picking him up there at the end of the first round. I think that's a solid pickup. People are shying away from Kyle Tucker though. He'll probably go in the turn here. We'll get to some of my strategies here for the drafts. The biggest thing I can kind of say, the first say 8 picks. This is a uh 23 slot draft. The first 8 slots are usually pretty straightforward. You're picking up the best player you can. So that's the early draft phase. It's pretty much the same across any sport. The first, 5 or 6 drafts that you make, more in baseball, of course, there's more positions you need to fill. Those are all going to be filled with the best players that you can get your hands on. I try not to double up on position players. Like I'm not going to go out and grab, say, Matt Olson next. That just would be handcuffing me and forcing me to go and find somebody late in the draft to fill the position that I could have filled the position early. But I try and pick up somebody that's going to help out the team and fill an open spot. And then of course, once I get past the uh first 8 rounds, then it changes a little bit after that. And we'll get to that here momentarily. Spencer Strider, first pitcher off the board. What I'll traditionally try to do is pick up one of the top pitchers. Garrett Cole is sitting out there. That might be the next person I target if it comes to me. I don't know if it will. It won't. There he goes. Now I'm going to be picking. I've got my pick coming up in 2 picks. Corbin Burns is the next starting pitcher here. That is tempting. I may end up going for Burns, although I would have liked to have gotten him possibly in the next round, but usually it doesn't. It's not going to fall to round 3. So if I really want him, I'm going to have to pick him up. I typically would like to have a top end batter and a top end pitcher on my squad. I'll draft all around teams here, so you'll see that I will go. Um, I'll usually go with one top flight pitcher, and I'll try to get as many good hitters surrounding that there, and then I'll try to fill in the rest of the pitchers kind of towards the end of the draft. Okay, so the guy that I really wanted there was Austin Riley. I'm not going to pick up Bryce Harper because I've already got Freddie Freeman. So it is going to be Corbin Burns. We're going to draft him here for the team. I feel good about that pick because if you look at pick 24, Zach Wheeler's gone. So it would have certainly have gone to Travis's terrific team, Corbin Burns, if I didn't pick him up. Bo Bichette going that early. Oops. Now I got some Raptors basketball playing in the background here. Nice to be able to do while we're doing the draft. This again is your first time watching me do a draft here. I thank you for tuning in. I typically will do about 8 drafts in Yahoo and 8 drafts in ESPN. So I'm almost done my plate on both ends there. The last 2 spots that I have are reserved for. Oh, here we go. It is my turn now, and I think we are going to go ahead and pick up. Corey Seager. A little bit of a risk here with picking up Corey Seager because there is a chance that he's going to be missing the first little bit of the season, but this is a head-to-head league, which means I only really need to have him available for the playoffs, and chances are he will be okay for that. So we're going to go ahead and draft him. Certainly the best shortstop. I would pick him over Lindor anytime there, just for talent. Yeah, if you're interested in joining me on a fantasy baseball league, one of the ones that I've got reserved here, feel free to click on that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. That will get you a spot on the fantasy basketball teams that I just created. Hopefully, they will fill fast, and we will get to drafting that here before the season starts. So, if you're interested, go and check out the link and come and join us for some fantasy basketball all season long. I'm going to be doing episodes, of course, on fantasy basketball every week. We have a top 10 list that we like to do, that I like to do here for the pickups for the week. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Yeah, check us out. We'll have different episodes all throughout the week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mike Trout at 34. I like this guy. Gene's game-changing team. A little early for my taste. Round 3 is a little bit early to go on Trout. He's been dropping as low as round 6 in some leagues here. Just injury concerns, of course. We have to kind of bake that into Trout's price. Although I do have him as a reach in one of my episodes here. So if you're not quite sure where to put Trout, where to draft him, if he lands in round 5 and it's your turn, that's probably a safe spot to be able to draft him here this year. Still risky, but he's been the best player of the last 10 years, and it's hard not to click that draft button. Got a chance with him. There goes our first catcher off the board, Adley Rutschman, followed by somebody that I really am trying to stay away from, Tyler Glasnow. Filthy stuff, but it's a huge unknown for him once he passes 150 innings. So I don't know if I'm willing to take him in the first 4 rounds. The pace of the draft is slowing up a little bit here. As I look to where I'm at, I quickly realized that I am going to need to start looking for some stolen bases. I don't want to be behind in that category. I know a lot of the big stolen base guys have already been chosen, but there's still a few of them out on the board. Randy Arozarena is one that I'm targeting. If I can get him, that's going to make me feel a little bit better, and I'm picking in the next 3 picks. So we'll see if he ends up landing to me. If not, I may actually go for a top flight starting pitcher. That will give me 2, which is a great position to be in when you're going head to head. Kevin Gausman's still out there, and that is really tempting. Oh, never mind. He's gone. There's still Luis Castillo, who I'd be happy to get. Randy Arozarena or Luis Castillo. One of those two is going to be joining the squad. It depends on who's sticking around. I'm not big on Altuve. They're both sticking around. He picked up Devin Williams. Wow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick up Arozarena. That's going to be my first outfielder for the squad. I think I've got Edwin Diaz as my next pickup here. But typically, what I'll do for head to head, very very important. If this is a great strategy, and I see people unfortunately do this a lot. And it's a really easy way for you to be able to get a leg up on head to head matchups. You don't want to stack your team with a bunch of hitters when you're going head to head with another team, because you're not going to be able to rotate your hitters nearly as much into the lineup as you will your pitchers. So ideally, if you want to maximize your stats, you should be picking up a lot more starting pitchers and relievers and that kind of stuff. So that way you can cycle through and get a better chance at some wins and some strikeouts and all that. So that's where you should be focusing in on with your drafts. Ideally, I'll keep one bench bat, but for the rest of the bench, and there's 5 of them. So for the 4 other bench spots, I'll use pitchers. So we're not, of course, there yet. We're only in round 4. I'll be picking my next pick here in the next 7. But once we get towards round 16-ish, 15, 16, that's when you'll start to see me really load up on pitchers. Currently watching Raptors basketball, and of course, they are playing the Suns and currently getting trounced, which is not surprising. The team is no bueno right now. All right, so coming up next presents a little bit of a opportunity for me to kind of go a couple of different ways. I am huge, and I mean huge on Tariq Skubal. Easily for me, somebody that I would pick up in this instance here, and there's 3 picks left. He's coming up here as kind of like that pick number 3 there for me. So there is a chance that I can land him. And if he falls to me, oh, yeah, he didn't get picked. Okay, so if he falls to me, then I am certainly going to take that shot. Tariq Skubal is going to be a beast this year. Hey, Rhett, that's awesome. I'm glad that it helped there. If you want, I've been making I made a league, a Yahoo baseball league. You are welcome to join us here. I just set it up. Just it's pinned to the top of the chat. If you're interested in that, there, I'd love to have you on board, and we can chat some fantasy baseball all season long. It's going to be awesome. Well, I'll try not to help you win that league because I'd like to win that league myself. We'll see. I'm okay either way. Likely going to toss in some prizes and stuff from the channel here too. So if you're interested, definitely check out the link. Love to have you on board. All right, so we got 15 seconds left for this guy to choose between, I don't know what he's choosing, but if he leaves Tariq Skubal on the board, I am going to pick him up because that is a solid number 2. Number 1 in most leagues here. Okay, he picked up Webb. Perfect. All right, I am going to grab Tariq Skubal, get him on the squad. Happy about that pick. Very, very happy about that pick. I do need stolen bases. I do need relievers as well here. So I'm gonna likely pick up one of the 2. We shall see how that goes. Like I'm way behind in stolen bases right now. Rosarena is my only guy that I've got. He's good for 2025, but usually, especially that's why I was saying, like, if you can get in on one of the top 5 picks, top 4 picks especially, if you get one of them happens to fall there too, you just pick them up and don't even think about it because they are going to be a lock for stolen bases and power, which is really great to have guys like that on your team, especially when you go head to head, because it makes it so that way you'll be competitive in both categories. Awesome, Rhett. Yeah, that would be great. Now there is a player that I see here, and you might see him kind of highlighted in blue. Royce Lewis is someone I'm huge on. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been big on him here as well and has been pushing up the ADP. He was kind of sitting around the 80-90 spots, and now he's up to 63, so I don't know if I'm going to be going here for him. Oh, there goes Edwin Diaz. That was somebody that I was hoping to get, but that looks like it's not going to be the case. So it looks like we're going to be chasing an outfielder here. Oh gosh, I should really get in on a closer too, because you don't want to be left behind in that category. Again, if you're going all like an all-around team, which is what I'm trying to do here, you want to be able to be competitive in every category, and you don't want to be left behind in one. And right now, we're not doing so well in stolen bases, and I don't have a closer, so I may have to bite the bullet here and grab either or. So looking at the list here, yeah, it's not looking so good for stolen bases. I may, oh, there goes Romano. All right, I may have to go Doval just so that way I can get myself on the board. That's really late to pick him. Do I want to pick him that late? Oof. Okay. You know what? I don't even know what to do. I don't normally get stumped like this. This is something a little new. I normally have a pretty good plan going into these drafts, but it looks like this draft is going a little off script here for me. So, like for example, Max Fried's still sitting out there. I would have thought for sure that he would have been picked up, but this is not the case. I don't typically panic this early into a draft. Usually their first 10 rounds are pretty straightforward. I find that I'll get the value of a draft in that middle section. There goes Doval. Okay. So it looks like I'm not going to be getting one of the top flight relievers, and I'm not going to be going all the way down. Pick one up here. I'm going to pick up some player that I'll be able to. Well, there goes Fried. I would have picked up Fried, to be honest with you, but I already got two really good starting pitchers. Royce Lewis might be joining the squad here, folks. I really like him. It's still a little high for where I would normally pick him, but I've already got a first baseman. I've already got an outfielder. Need a third baseman. I need a second baseman as well, but I'm not picking up Nico Horner. He's too one-sided for me. I don't like the fact that he doesn't have any power. Royce Lewis may be the way that we go. We'll see if I get him. So if this is your first time watching me do one of these here, show me a little bit of love and smash that like button there. And if you haven't yet done so, please subscribe to the channel. Zach Eflin just got chose, so I'm choosing next. Let's see if I can get Lewis. Josh Lowe is another nice target. Yep, he picked up Arenado. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get Lewis. Hopefully he stays healthy enough to be able to help me out at the end of the season here. When it all counts, when you're playing for all the marbles. So that's my sixth choice. I am going to need to start looking at some relievers. So I'm just going to go ahead and queue up some of the relief pitchers that are coming up here, just so I can keep an eye on them. Paul Sewald's not somebody I'm really looking for here. Evan Phillips is a good one. Ryan Helsley is a good one. And then I think I'm getting into, yeah, all right. That's why I'm not too concerned, is I can pick up, say, down the road a Pete Fairbanks, and I'll be okay. Like, I think he's a top flight reliever, capable of knocking out 30 saves and doing that with some extremely good ratios and striking out a bunch of guys. So if it lands to me here in round 11 or 12, I'm fine with that. I'll pick him up every day. Will Smith just got picked. JT Realmuto will likely come off the board here shortly, but I'm not really gunning for a catcher here this early. I do need stolen bases, though. So Josh Lau, if it falls to me, that might be my pick, because I think he's due for a breakout season. They call for 17 homers. If he actually gets to bat against left-handed batters, I would say he's going to be closer to a 25 homer, 35 stolen base type candidate who is a great asset on a team. And he's going to be doing that with some solid ratios. He's going to be hitting in the middle of that lineup for Tampa Bay. So, yeah, if I can get him, I'm going to sign up for a little Josh Lowe. I can never remember how to actually say his last name. They had Brandon Lowe. I think it's Brandon Lowe and Josh Lowe. Okay, let's see where we're at here. And it's funny, I'm looking at Nico Horner now. If he had a little bit more power, I would be all over him right now, because my team isn't exactly a strong power team. It's great for average. I mean, I got Freeman and Seager on there. I'm going to do well. in the average department, and that typically will give me some residual runs and possibly some extra RBIs that way. But none of my guys are just flat out power hitters. So to kind of put myself in more of a power hole by filling a second base spot with somebody who just doesn't hit them, not exactly what I want to do. And especially I've got, like, if I scroll down to my, well, maybe I won't do that right now because I've got my turn coming up here in 5 seconds. And I've messed up before. Well, Nico Horner's gone anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Looking again here, just to make sure this is the way that I wanted to go. Grayson Rodriguez is a very interesting pickup here. I've got 2 top flight starters, so I don't necessarily need a third. I've got a shortstop, don't necessarily need that. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and grab Josh Lowe. I'm going to take a look to see. Yeah, might start the season on the IL. Not a huge deal. I'm good with that as long as he's healthy. Again, once the season gets deeper in and we get closer to playoffs, that's all that matters to me. So we're gonna go ahead and draft Josh Lowe, picking up some Tampa Bay outfielders who can do a little bit of everything. That's always a good feeling there. That's gonna help me out for sure with the squad. Now, I think my next pickup is gonna be a reliever. We got David Bednar and Alexis Diaz sitting out there. There has been reports out of Pittsburgh that Bednar is suffering a little bit here. Let's just see if his lat. They're going to begin a throwing program here, so there might be a little something there. Not a bad idea if you do have Bednar to consider getting Aroldis Chapman now that he's a Pirate. Hey, thanks, Red. I just got a notification that said that you joined the league. Appreciate that. I have the draft tentatively set up for this weekend, but it of course it has to fill first. So if it does fill, then we'll go live this weekend. If it doesn't fill, then we'll just try to get people in there as quickly as we can to fill it up there, and then we'll go live whenever it goes live. But I appreciate you guys all checking us out here. If this is something new here for you, please do. Somebody picked up Diaz. Okay, I may have to go the David Bednar route. Oof. Makes me a little nervous. Yeah, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet done so, and of course, like the video, like the stream. I normally put out videos, not streams. But today we're doing a stream, so definitely like the stream if you can. That would be awesome. Yeah, David Bednar. I have a strategy as well with regards to relief pitchers, or closers specifically. When you're doing an all-around team, you have to kind of keep in mind there's 12 teams in your league. At least most leagues that I do with ESPN, there's 10 teams usually in the league. I did start up in ESPN draft as well. I made that a 12-team league. I just find it's a little bit more competitive. You know what? Maybe I do Evan Phillips here. I like him better than Paul Sewald and David Bednar. So I might just bite the bullet and go Evan Phillips. We'll see what happens. Nevertheless, there's 30 teams. And I'd say out of those 30 teams, there's probably 23, 24 of those teams that has an established closer. So that's basically 2 per team. 2 per team for the league, for the fantasy baseball league that you're in. So if you can get 2 solid relievers that are going to close, and then if you end up picking up a third, then you're ahead of the game in that category. And of course, the biggest thing is staying active during the season. If you can do that, then you'll not only benefit from getting, the saves that you're getting from your bona fide closers. You can always pick up a closer or 2 at some point during the season. It happens every year. Oh, there goes Bednar, so I don't have to worry about Bednar. It happens every year. You can pick up a solid closer that just happens to be sitting on the waiver wire, and all of a sudden they just hand him the keys to the kingdom and he goes off. Every year it happens. You can easily get one at some point during the season if you remain active and just jump on that opportunity when it comes up. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to have a bit of a decision to make. I have Gleyber Torres as an option here for me. Grayson Rodriguez is still out there, and I might just bite the bullet on that. I like Grayson Rodriguez. That's really going to give me an advantage in win possibilities, strikeouts, and probably some good metrics there too around ERA and WHIP. He was awful, of course, if you guys remember to start the season last season. Grayson Rodriguez was terrible. He was sent down to the minors, but once he came back up here, he was one of the best pitchers in the league. Made some put up some big lines for Baltimore, and now of course he's tied. He's tied in with Corbin Burns to take a bit of the pressure off him. Grayson Rodriguez doesn't need to be a stopper. He can just go out there and pitch, and that Baltimore team, is going to certainly score some runs. So I like him as a pitcher, and he's now, yeah, we're now into the, well, this is going to be my 8th pick, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might just go ahead and pick him and just hope that Evan Phillips falls to me in the next round. Oh, Evan Phillips isn't going to fall to me in the next round. So, yeah, looks like Grayson Rodriguez is joining the squad. Our starting pitcher is extremely solid. We really need a reliever, so I might just spend a couple of picks on that. I'm trying to stay away from Paul Sewald. He's not exactly somebody that I like. I mean, he's not terrible, but I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of faith that he's going to hold on to that position in Arizona. And I don't think Arizona, well, I have to be careful how I say this here. You can't really tie in a team's success with how many saves its closer is going to get. It doesn't really work that way. I think I was reading an article from Yahoo, and they were saying that the league's closers with the most saves happen to be on teams with like 75 wins. So, you got to just keep that in mind when you're drafting. Arizona, they may not repeat the success they had last year, but they'll still probably be in enough games to make Paul Sewald relevant enough. So he may end up racking up 32 saves if he keeps that position for the season. He was stumbling for quite a bit there last year, so I don't really have a whole lot of faith that he is going to keep that spot. There goes Ryan Helsley. All right, now I'm in trouble. Now I am in trouble. Who are the next relievers? Pete Fairbanks. I may have to reach a little bit here to pick up Mr. Fairbanks so I can say that at least I've got myself a reliever. I can't hold off really anymore. Again, I don't mind picking Fairbanks up this early. Like, this is my 9th pick. Ideally, I would have liked to have him closer to rounds 10 or 11, but it looks like, which is, again, I should have expected this because this is typically how it goes every year. There's always a run on relievers, and you got to be able to pick up one or two of them within that run. But I'm happy to get Fairbanks here. Andres Munoz will be the next one for me to kind of target if it gets to that point. But I'm gonna try to kind of gotta fill in a second baseman. Oh, not getting Marte, that's for sure. Catchers, Yainer Diaz is sitting out there. That might be where I go with my next pick. I'm a huge Yainer Diaz fan. Jordan Walker's coming up here as well, so it might be one of those two. Bryson Stott is another one I'm really big on. So I've got some players that can kind of fill some spots here coming up. Ooh, wow. Somebody went ahead and picked up Jackson Holiday, 103. That's the highest that I've seen him picked up. Okay. Tristan Casas is a somebody I'm high on here as well. Not gonna get him at this point because I don't need a first baseman. Oh, there goes Mooney. All right, let me load up a couple more. Let me load up a couple more closers here. Clay Holmes, Adbert Alzolay is a good one. Craig Kimbrell, Tanner Scott. I still have some good options here, but if I don't pick up a second one here relatively soon, it's going to get thin real fast. So yeah, Tristan Casas is somebody I'm normally pretty high on. He's gonna be. It looks like they're putting him cleanup in Boston this season, and there's a lot of really good on base. Well, I shouldn't say on base guys. Jaron Duran is slated to hit first. He's more of a contact guy. He's not exactly somebody who takes a whole lot of walks. And then you got Devers and batting third. Can't remember who's batting third in that squad here. I don't think it's Trevor Story. Oh, actually, that brings up something here for me. I wanted to show you guys. This is a really nice little segue here. I wanted to show you guys some of the tools that I like to use when I'm researching for drafts. And I do this actually when I do my research for my videos here as well. They come in really really handy. I'm going to show you kind of here. Um, bring up my where to go. I want to exit the draft here. There we go. All right, I'm just going to get out of full screen here for a second. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I use. I'm huge on StatCast. Really, really, and actually, you'll see I did a little excerpt on Jaron Duran here earlier. I'm a huge fan of Statcast and the information that it provides. I'm a big analytics guy, so I like diving into these numbers here. You look at sprint speed at 96, you'll know that Jaron Duran has the skills to be able to basically steal a base at will. So he could easily get to 40 stolen bases this year if given the opportunity. Um, I also like doing like they do have projected lineups right now on MLB.com. I like checking that out here from time to time just to kind of see where um, what MLB.com is projecting. It kind of helps me with my decisions when I choose players. Those are two of the bigger ones that I use. Of course, Yahoo and ESPN have their articles that I like to go on here as well and check out. So if you're in one of those, if you're in Yahoo or if you're using ESPN, always check those out there as well. I'll compile whatever information I find, usually from those four sources. I've got some other ones that I like to pull from as well. And then I use that to create my videos that I give out to you guys here every week. So that gives you a little bit of an insight as to kind of how I go around and do things. Let's see if I've missed any. Oh, there goes Alzolay. Good lord. I thought he would be a lot further down. All right, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet again and just grab another reliever to make sure I've got two. As who do we got? Yeah, we got Clay Holmes. Well, Tanner Scott. I can probably wait on him. All right, we're gonna. Michael King's a good one here, but I'm good with pitchers. What do we need? I need a catcher. Is he still out there? Yainer Diaz is still out there, so that might be where I go here. The second baseman Bryson Stott's still out there, and then I've got Jordan Walker still out there as well. Jordan Walker, just as a heads up, he was the player that I picked as my number one reach in my last video. Definitely check that out. Okay, Diaz. It's Diaz time. I want to get that catcher here. That spot's lined up. Why I like Yainer Diaz, of course, he is going to be the primary catcher in Houston this year after really showing out in his rookie season. This is his rookie season last year. He's got that short porch in Houston that he can pop over the fence. He's going to likely slot in at DH if he needs to. If Jordan gets injured, which seems to be a yearly thing, he'll probably slide in at DH when he's not catching. So I would say out of all the catchers or all the players that are catcher eligible this season, expect Diaz to be near the front of the list for at-bats. And that's what you want ultimately out of your catchers, is just to be able to actually get plate appearances. Oftentimes you'll get a catcher to split appearances with another catcher on that team. Like if you look at Toronto, for example, you'll get Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk. They're basically going to be 50-50. Same kind of thing going on in Atlanta, maybe not quite to the same degree, but with Sean Murphy and what's his name? It's drawing a blank now, but the other backup catcher for Atlanta. They'll both share a lot of that time. I really want to go Clay Holmes. So, kind of going back to what I was saying, I like to get a catcher. If I'm gonna roster a catcher, I want to roster a catcher that's going to be, getting 500 plus at bats in a season. Zach Guloff is one of my favorite picks there at second. I don't think I would have picked him ahead of Bryson Stott, but that's just me. There goes Holmes, as expected. Okay. Need a second baseman. I think we're gonna go Stott here, because I believe second base really falls off after that. Let me take a look here just to see. Yeah, it does. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and draft Bryson Stott. Lock that position down here as somebody who can steal bases, which is what I need, and is a pretty good bet at 15 home runs this season here as well. So that's a pick I'm pretty happy about too. Now, I really need to key in on another reliever. So I think that's what we're going to be picking up with my next pick. I doubt Jordan Walker will be out there. One guy that I'm hoping falls to me is Jackson Chourio. I'm really kind of crossing my fingers on that there, but it looks like he may end up opening the year as the leadoff hitter in Milwaukee, which would be huge to see him with his speed at the front of that lineup. I mean, obviously, as a rookie, that's never a guarantee that he stays there, but that would be a monster player to potentially pick up. I really like Jordan Walker. I'm kind of sad that he's likely not going to fall on the team here this season. Maybe I'll try making a trade for him. I really do think that he's going to be a great player here this year. I think he's got the ability to knock in 35 homers and he's got the speed to swipe 25 bags. So another player that has, um, the all around kind of ticket just lined up. He's not going to hurt you really anywhere, and he hits for a good average too. So I really think that this is going to be um, his year to do something really special. Cole Reagan's a steal, an absolute steal right now. Oh, somebody just picked up my least favorite team player to roster, Esturi Ruiz. Although truthfully, on this lineup, he would actually work if he gets the playing time. Um, but I am not the type of manager that's going to roster a player that's only good at doing one thing. Oh, actually, no, probably. Let's go back to full screen here. A lot nicer, a lot cleaner. Yeah, I don't go for guys like Asturi Ruiz. Really a one trick pony. It just means that he's not good at the other four. I don't care how good he is at stealing bases. He could have 100, and I think I mentioned that in the fades category. Um, I'm not going to be picking up a player like that. That's just asking for trouble. All it takes is for him to, injure his hamstring, and then the one category that he's good at, he can't even do. He's likely not going to get playing time if he can't run. So, not a guy that I'm targeting in any of my leagues. I stay far, far away. My turn's coming up here, and Jordan Walker is still sitting out there. I can't do it. I got to pick up a reliever. Has to be either Kimbrell or Scott, and I'm leaning towards Kimbrell, which might be a mistake because he is about as volatile a player as you get. And of course, he's going to be pitching the AL East too. Didn't bother him so much when he was a Red Sox, but now this late into his career as a Baltimore Oriole, different scenario. Not as hard a thrower as he used to be, so he could be susceptible to some very stressful spots AL East against the AL East here. So we'll see. I may end up going Tanner Scott. Hard to say. We'll have to kind of play it by ear once it gets to our turn. Jordan Walker's still out there. Somebody please pick him up so I don't have to look at that. Ay ay ay. Yeah, if you guys are watching this and have any feedback on how your drafts have been going so far, I'd love to hear it. Please leave a chat there, and we can talk about it. This this live stream is as much for me making this draft as it is for you to fire away with whatever questions you might have. I also did a post today, just a little kind of teaser um, as to what's coming down the pipe for the channel. It looks like there's a new platform coming down that I'll be partnering with, and I'm pretty excited about. It's basically like a uh, fantasy baseball advice. I don't know why I said financial there. That's silly. But fantasy baseball advice, and I'm really pumped about that. I'm hoping that takes off and does really, really well. Really cool platform. I took a look at some of the stuff here today. We had a meeting. Very, very interesting. Something that I haven't really seen in the market there either. So I think it's going to do really well. Okay, guys. Jordan Walker's still out there. Ugh. Do I ignore the fact that I need a reliever? I think I do. I think I do. Oops. What am I doing? Players. I can't pass them up. That's a very painful pick because I just get the feeling that I am going to miss out on both Kimbrel and Tanner Scott on this turn. But if either one of them are available, that's who I'm getting. I now have a full roster catcher through outfielder. I don't have my util spots filled out yet. I'll work on that here in a minute. I do like Jackson Churio if I can get him, but I'm not really focused in on that. I do need to start focusing in more on getting quality starting pitching, and of course, I need another reliever. So that is where we're lining up here for the next pick. Probably going to be either Kimbrel or Tanner Scott. Hopefully, I get one of those two. If I don't, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to pick up Jose Leclerc. Not this late. I should probably. Jose Alvarado might save. Oh, there goes Kimbrel. Oh boy. Alex Lang might save, or at least to start the season. Will Smith, Suarez. It's either Suarez or who's the other guy? Matsui, Yuki Matsui. I don't see. Where is he? All right, I got to get Tanner Scott. That's my next pick here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 picks to go. Tanner Scott's got to be coming onto the team. Aroldis Chapman, I might just end up looking at getting him later on in the draft just as a handcuff. Yeah, there isn't a whole lot. James MacArthur might close, but that's not a given. Carlos Estevez, again, might close, but not a given. Robert Stevenson might be, taking over that spot here as well. So kind of going back to what I was saying with regards to the playoffs, my goal is to have the best team. Oh gosh, that hurts. Oh, two of the picks that I really wanted went back to back. There goes Tanner Scott. There goes Jackson Churio. I'm in a world of hurt when it comes to relief pitchers. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get Jose Leclerc. I don't really want to do this, but I don't have an option. I need to get a second relief pitcher in there so that way I can at least be on par with the majority of the teams in this league. Ugh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. That one hurt, folks, ladies and gents. That one definitely hurt. Okay, so kind of going back to what I was saying with starters and injuries, Kodai Senga sitting out there. Average drop positions 113. Keep in mind a lot of that a lot of those pickups were before he got hurt. So he is going to land, like he's going to be on the IL with a shoulder strain, and it looks like making good progress. Might join the rotation late April or early May. So if I get Kodai Senga for 3/4 of the season, that's a win, and I'm going to get him at a huge discount too. So that actually might be the next pickup that I'm going to go ahead and do. Kodai Senga. When it comes to hitters, again, I was mentioning before, you want to make sure that you field the best hitters that you can, but don't stack your bench with bats. It's not going to help you out in a week to week basis. I would much rather pick up a player like an Isaac Paredes that can play first and second and third to be able to cover if one of the either Freddie Freeman, Bryson Stott, or Royce Lewis happens to have a day off. I can slide Isaac Paredes into that spot and get his counting stats there for that day. It doesn't make sense for me to have 6 bats, or well, I can't have 6 bats with 5 bench guys. It doesn't make sense for me to have 4 bats to sub in every day because you're not going to find spots for them, especially for days that all the teams are. It just won't work. So guys like Isaac Paredes is good to consider. Guys like Edmund, Justin Turner, again, I've got him already queued up. These are good guys to pick up towards the end of your drafts. Nolan Gorman would be another one. There goes Paredes. I like Kodai Senga here, folks. If I can get him, that will be a win. Kind of scrolling down and taking a look at who else I'd key on. Jorge Polanco is somebody that I'm really big on as well. He's likely going to be hitting in the top third of the lineup in Seattle. That should give him a lot of RBI opportunities there behind Julio Rodriguez. Gavin Williams is a good pitcher to consider. Carlos Rodon is actually somebody that I was thinking of there too, but he is gone. That's okay. Kodai Senga is still sitting out there. Riley Green is somebody else that I like here as well. I actually like him better than Kerry Carpenter for Detroit. We're gonna go ahead and get Senga. I'll stick him on the IL and then we will activate him. Time comes. Jake Berger's still sitting out there. Chas McCormick could be a 2020 guy. Brian Fotts, again, another high strikeout guy that I like to get on my squads there towards the end of drafts. Vaughn Grissom was high on him when he was playing with Atlanta, but there was no room for him. There's Yuki Matsui. I'll probably need some more saves, so I'm going to keep Kyle Finnegan, another one. Probably won't hang on to the job in Washington. At least I'll be able to get some start of the season. Brandon Drury is actually a really good one to consider. He's going to be hitting the top third of the lineup there in LA. Again, very depleted. No more Otani, obviously. Trout. We'll see if we can get a full season from Trout here this season. Anthony Rendon has been pretty much forgotten in fantasy circles. All right, it is now my turn. Jorge Soler. Billy Oberberger. Like Bailey Ober. Oh, though, let me take a look. I might be able to reliever Alex Lynn. Don't really like Alex Lange, but we're gonna go ahead and draft him nonetheless. Kind of subscribing to that theory where I want to have more than the typical I want to have 3 closers because obviously there isn't 36 and typically 24 of those teams will have locked up their closers. Fairbanks is a pretty good lock in Tampa Bay. Leclerc, I wouldn't call him a lock. Lange, I wouldn't call him a lock. At least it gives me something that I can use, and then if I have to, I just have to stay active on the wire to see if I can find somebody in case one of the guys happens their handle on the closer roll. Gavin Williams is a good pickup. Do like that. Wyatt Langford sitting out there. He may begin the season in the majors here for Texas. Another guy that could go 2020. Should really look at getting some hitters here. Jake Berger. Chat, like there's still some good bats. Reese Hoskins is going to be a good bat. Eloy Jimenez, I think he's going to have a resurgence here this year. Now that he's healthy, hopefully he stays healthy. Yeah, Carlos Correa. I mean, I don't really know where I'm at with Carlos Correa now. It looks like his star has kind of faded. So that he's in Minnesota. He's still pretty young. I mean, all things considered, he's still pretty young. I just don't know if he's going to be, um, worth the risk. Abreu's not a bad one to consider late in drafts there as well. His power days are all but behind him, but he still performs in the clutch pretty well, and he's likely going to be hitting in the middle of that Houston lineup still. So not a bad person to consider hopping onto your team. Don't really know if Junior Caminero is going to be getting as many at bats as I thought he would. Guess we're just going to have to see how that plays out in Tampa Bay. Helenic's a good one to consider. He's going to be batting in the lower end of the lineup there in Atlanta. They're basically going to be taking over the spot left behind by oh, now I'm forgetting names again. Eddie Rosario. Oh, Travis d'Arnaud, by the way. Apparently, I can't remember Braves names. Travis d'Arnaud was that backup catcher that I was referring to earlier. Um, okay. Oh, Alek Manoah is injured. Yeah, unlikely to be ready for opening day. That's not a surprise. Nolan, I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. Shanuel looks like he might be a lock for that leadoff spot there in LA. Not going to steal a bunch of bases, but he can hit, so might be a good source of some runs. Henry Davis looks like he's going to be. This is more of a deep dive into catchers. Looks like he's going to be Pittsburgh, or he has a chance, I should say, to be Pittsburgh starting catcher. But he also has a chance to be outright, um, well, to be sent back to the minors here too. So he's a difficult one to kind of gauge as to where you want to go. Oh, there goes Jake Berger. Probably pay attention to it. Oh, there goes Eloy Jimenez. My guys are all leaving. That's okay. I might go with Ober here. Christian Javier is tempting too, but I think I prefer going with Bailey Ober. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and draft Bailey Ober for the squad. I'm good with that. I want to thank you guys again for joining us. If this is your first time watching this, please subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Stick with us here all season long. We are going to be doing fantasy baseball every week. I've got a post lined up for the must adds, and we're going to be doing episodes throughout the week there as well. Should be a lot of fun. Kyle Bradish, another guy that might be out for the season, maybe. Of course, might be coming back here as well. And if he does come back, he's going to be coming back in the latter half of the year and hopefully put together a solid um, second half of the campaign, which is what you want for um, fantasy playoffs. These teams that are jumping out of the drafts, fortunately, it doesn't automatically pick their players. You have to sit here for a minute, a full minute. So much time wasted. All right, let's see what we want where we want to go here with our next few picks. Reese Hoskins is probably going to be one of the guys that I am going to pick up to put on in my util spot. Let's take a look at I got Jorge Polanco, Brandon Drury as well. You know what? If I got Brandon Drury queued up, maybe what I do is I go for Willie Adames. That might be the play. Oh, there goes Polanco. Um, let's go ahead and roll the dice on Willie Adames. I've got a little bit of cushion here in the batting average department. Again, with guys like Freddie Freeman and Corey Seager that I've got on the team, I could afford to lose a few points there to be able to gain on, say, a little bit of extra power with Adames. Hopefully, he doesn't tank the batting average too much. So at this point here, we're at the back third of the draft. I've got 6 more picks to go before we are done. Now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to fill stats that I don't have enough of. So, actually, here I can kind of take a look at the team and how it's stacking up so far. And looking at the team, I can, well, actually, let's go to 2020 total stats. That might be a better idea of where I'm at. I do have a fair amount of stolen base, actually more than I thought I did. So I may be okay there, although it would be good to be able to pick up another guy that can steal some bases. Um, I don't have a whole lot of run producers, so that's a bit concerning. Home run hitters, I've got a good share there. I think I'll be all right. Runs, I mean, Freddie Freeman next to Ronald Acuna, and I don't even know if Acuna is going to lead the league this year in that. It could be Freeman with that lineup. They're going to be chasing each other in runs all season long. And then we've got guys like Seager, if he has a full season, Rosarena should be up there for runs. So I think I'm okay there. Going to, going to starting pitching. I've got some big names here in starting. Definitely the strength of this team is my starters. I've got 4 guys lined up that could potentially be, top tier starters once they're all healthy. And then I got Bailey Ober there as my 5th starter so far. My starters are going to be elite. That's going to be a category that teams are going to have a hard time trying to beat me on. So I really should kind of consider getting a solid, another solid bat. See how that's going to kind of play out. Wyatt Langford's still sitting out there. He may again start the season. He's going to be one of those 2020 guys I like to put on my team. JD Martinez hasn't signed yet. Tyler O'Neill's an interesting one. I don't know how he's going to end up playing out there. Brandon Drury, that was the guy that I was kind of queuing up. I may wait until the next round to get him. Because I'll like to put one more bat down, which means I am going to need an outfielder. So I think I might go I may go Wyatt Langford here just to roll the dice to see if he actually does end up starting. That might be the way that I go here. Now I feel really good about that Jordan Walker pickup from earlier. There goes Drury. Darn, that's too bad. That was something that I was kind of playing out. Oh, you know what? DJ LeMahieu's still out there. That's a great pick because he might end up. He's not going to help you in stolen bases. He wasn't really a stolen base threat to begin with, but it looks like he may end up starting or being leadoff in that crazy lineup. And if that happens, if he gets 120, 130 games hitting leadoff, oh boy. All right, let's see. Let's go just quickly take a look at some outfielders just to see if there's anybody that I'm missing. Starling Marte. You know what? That's probably the smarter pick. I know he's a little older, but he's at least established, and I need a backup outfielder. So Starling Marte, I think, would be the wise pick here. Oh, Jarren Duran. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. He's still queued up for me. Oh boy. Well, I can't pick up both. I think I'd rather. I wish I picked up Duran there, or later, I should say. DJ LeMahieu, if I can get around to him, he'll likely be joining the squad. Let's take a look at some pitchers. See who's still kicking out there. Bryce Miller is somebody that I could go in on. I think Giolito just. Yeah, could miss the 2024 season. Taj Bradley is somebody I could get in on. Andrew Abbott. I don't mind. He had a crazy start to his career, and then really, of course, faded down the stretch, which is again nothing new. Kyle Harrison's a good one. Carter Crawford. Taking a look at some relievers just to see who's still out there. Carlos Estevez. Uh, yeah. I may pick him up. We'll see. Certainly could do worse. But he's one of those not in the top 24 discussion. There goes Wyatt Langford. Nobody wants to go in on Francisco Alvarez. I do have him as a fade. He's probably the most powerful catcher that's going to hit the most home runs in the league, but his defense is pretty mid, and his plate discipline is worse. So, unless you're willing to deal with the headaches, I don't know. Oh, there he goes. I don't know if I'd be diving into Francisco Alvarez anytime. Okay, here we go. What do I want to do? Oh, did I miss somebody picking up? Yeah, Drury. Oh, I think I knew that. Okay, so I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do again here. Probably should pick up a pitcher. Let's go ahead and get Bryce Miller. I could certainly do worse here. Right, I'm looking at DJ LeMahieu. I start to get talking and I completely forget my game plan. DJ LeMahieu, again, is going to fill that first baseman spot, second baseman spot, third baseman spot, which basically gives me backups for every single one of my positions. So I should probably look at getting him in the next round. Then I'll have a backup for every position but catcher, which I'm fine with because I got Yainer Diaz there. He's going to play the majority of those games there anyways. So hopefully, I can get DJ on the squad, and that should shore up all the batters that I need. And I can focus in on getting pitchers the rest of the way. That's the goal. Let's see if it works out in my. Just about to wrap up here. Thank you guys for joining us. About an hour and a half into the stream. Usually these drafts take about an hour and a half to complete. So this one's going a little longer, but that's okay. We're doing pretty well here with our picks. Aroldis Chapman's still sitting out there, so that might be a savvy pickup for me. Just to get some, you know, that's his total stats. Last year, 58 innings, 103 strikeouts. That's fantastic. So if you're fielding a team that struggles to strike out batters, plugging in a guy like Aroldis Chapman, who, he's not going to get a whole lot of saves, at least to start the year, may pick up a few there, maybe to start the season if there's an issue with David Bednar. He wouldn't be a bad guy to consider getting. Oh, there goes Taj Bradley, Andrew Abbott, both gone. Okay, I know who I'm getting. That's DJ LeMahieu. I'm actually going to click on him just that way he's. The hope here, of course, is that he gets the majority of the starts. I think they're talking about plugging him in at third this season because you got Rizzo at first and Labor at second. So I think DJ is going to play third. There goes Jarren Duran. Three more picks. And then I can dial up my next pick here. Two more picks. Here we go. So let's get DJ. That closes down my my hitters, and now I can focus. Oh, Mitch Garver, nice pick. DJ's breathtaking team. I wonder if that is his starting. No, he's got Rush. Bees. There's two. There we go. Okay, yeah, he's got Contreras and Garver. Okay. Let's get out some of the. I'm not going to need to get any batters here. I can take. Well, we're going to go ahead and get Nick Lodolo. I don't mind that. Another strikeout pitcher. I mean, I know Cincinnati's a bit of a sandbox when it comes to the hitters, so getting a starting pitcher in Cincinnati is not always the smartest thing to do, but strike guys out, that means they're not on base. I think we're going to go ahead and grab Chapman with the next pick. Braxton Garrett still. Mad Max, we might see him according to the list here. We may see him in June. Clayton Kershaw, we may see towards August. Guys that you can just put on the injured list and let them sit there until they're ready. So, I mean, that's a guy. I might end up picking up Kershaw. That's somebody who's going to be very, very beneficial towards the end of the season here when you need him. So I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick up Kershaw with the next pick, and then we're going to close it off with possibly Yuki Mitsui, Roldis Chapman, one of the relievers that I've got lined up here. So thank you guys again for watching this here. 2 picks left to go. If you enjoyed this or you're planning on doing a draft here yourself, leave comment down in the comment section. Let me know how you think I did. If you got any questions, of course, you can leave a comment in the chat or just fire a comment off, afterwards. I respond to as many as I can get to. I'm always interested in divulging whatever advice I can give you on the fantasy basketball spectrum, or baseball, spectrum. I do basketball there as well. If you're interested in joining a fantasy baseball league, I've got one set up for both Yahoo and for ESPN. Definitely go and check that out. You'll see pinned to the top of the chat. There is the link to get into that fantasy baseball league. Once it fills, we will draft. They're set up as auction leagues here. And they are 12-team head-to-head. Definitely looking forward to that. Hope to see you guys out there. All right, here we go. Clayton Kershaw. Go ahead and get him. Yuki Matsui is gone, which basically means I'm going to be picking up a Aroldis Chapman if I can get my hands on him for the last pick of this draft. Okay. Yeah, if you guys are, let me know what your favorite format is too for fantasy leagues. I think it's kind of hard to say which one I like more. I do like the points leagues in ESPN. I know you can do them in Yahoo, but they don't seem to have them available unless I'm completely missing them. They don't seem to have them available for just your regular Yahoo leagues. You have to kind of create a league to do it, but could be wrong. But I do like the points leagues in ESPN. I do like, of course, the auction drafts in Yahoo and ESPN for that matter. I think they're really well done. A lot of fun. A lot of strategy. Lots of strategy. And prepare yourself to take a 2.5 hour block, 2.5 to 3 hour block of your life to be able to do these because they do not go fast. But if you're doing you know, if you're sticking through it there, you can really um, maximize your return from an auction league. Pardon me. My turn is next. We have to wait 45 seconds for it to happen. I'll kind of show you guys because we won't have to wait till the end of the draft here for this. I can do this as we're looking at it. Just seeing how things are lining up here. Actually, draft results. Sometimes. Oh, there's the draft board. Oh, standings. That's what I want to take a look at. These are very arbitrary. I wouldn't really put too much stock into this. This is basically what the people think is going to happen here. Yeah, so they're basically saying that I've got fourth best team, which really I never really paid that much attention to them. Let's go ahead and get Chapman. Really, a lot of this just is kind of fluff, and you spend your time to make sure that you stay active and know kind of what your team is at and make the necessary change during the season if you trades or whatever to address certain needs. As long as you're staying active and stuff, typically you'll be able to um, do what you need to do during the season when you're going head to head. Make sure to pick up two, starters that pitch twice during the week, so that way you get more stats to accumulate, that kind of stuff. There's certainly ways to be able to um, perform well on a week to week basis. So yeah, going back to this, we're gonna click on the projected stats again. Take this for a grain of salt. This is just Yahoo saying, yeah, this is kind of what we think batters are gonna hit. Ideally, I like to get five guys that can score 80 runs or more. Freddie Freeman, of course, is a lock. Bryson Stott's probably going to get more than 69. Royce Lewis probably going to get more than 78. Corey Seager should be a lock if he's healthy. Randy Rosarena should be a lock. Jordan Walker, I predict he's going to go over 80, but we'll see. So we got enough there. I mean, if DJ again, if he's starting if he's leading off that New York lineup, he should be able to score a lot more runs than 49. We'll see how that pans out here. Homers want to get five guys with 20 or more. Diaz, Freeman, Royce Lewis, Corey Seager, Randy Rosarena, Willie Adames, likely Jordan Walker, likely Josh Lau. So there's certainly guys that are going to be able to do that there for me. RBIs, 80 or more, want to get five of those. Diaz, possibly, that might be a little high. I have an estimate there for runs batted in. Freeman should be, Royce Lewis should be, Corey Seager, Randy Rosarena. That's five potentially there. Really, Adames could, Josh Lau could, Jordan Walker could. So there's a lot of run-producing guys on the squad. 20 more stolen bags, five of those. Freeman, I don't think is going to get 17, although he did get, was it 23 last year? Yeah, so I don't know if he's not that fast. He's that aggressive, just not that fast. Bryson Stott should be a lock. Rosarena, Lau should be a lock. Jordan Walker might be able to cross that 20 mark. Starling Marte, again, if he's healthy, should be able to get there too. Then average, I want to get five guys, 270 or higher. Diaz, Freeman, Stott should be there. Royce Lewis, Corey Seager, Rosarena might be there. Josh Lau might be there. Jordan Walker might be there. Starling Marte, maybe. So we've got enough guys there in that department to be able to help out there too. So I feel really good about the hitters on there. Very good all-around team. No superstar stolen bases, but we should have enough here to be able to compete. For pitchers, again, that's where this team is just lethal. You got Burns and Skubal, you got Grayson Rodriguez, you got Bailey Ober, you got Kodai Senga when he comes back, Clayton Kershaw when he comes back. Like, these are some major names that will certainly help the team out here. I'm not that good with my relievers. Maybe we'll look at picking one up either via trade or just scouring the waiver wire when an opportunity arises. Strikeouts, our guys are going to be striking out a ton of batters. Again, you got multiple strikeouts coming for Burns, for Skubal. Fairbanks is good that way. Rodriguez will be good that way. Senga is going to be good that way. Nick Lodolo will be good that way. Roldis Chapman's going to be good that way. We're going to be fine with strikeouts. ERA, again, the fact that we got solid starters, that's going to carry our ERA. Same thing with the whip. So I think overall we've done really well in this draft, and I'm very excited to see how this team pans out. But I'm curious as to your thoughts here. Let me know in the comments how well did you think we did, or I did, in this draft. I'd be very interested to know. But that is going to do it here for this. Thank you guys again for joining us. Please leave a like on the stream, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm going to sign off for now, but I will catch you guys on the next episode.